Why does the no dating clause exist and how does it affect the way idols are marketed? Well, let's find out. I will start where it always starts, from the fans' perspective. From my own personal experience, I would honestly be just a little disappointed if I knew one of my biases was in a relationship. I mean, it has nothing to do with romantic delusions or anything like that. It's just that I kind of see them as like really close friends or maybe even extended family that I don't get a chance to see all the time, but I'm still attached to. So, I mean, don't K-pop fans follow their favorites from early on in their career, like NCT, Dream, IOI, Twice, those kinds of favorites? I mean, isn't that the same thing as having really close friends that you might have grown up with or family members that, you know what's happening in their life? I mean, here's an example. Okay, let's say that you have three brothers and you're like the only sister in the family. These brothers have pampered you for a long time, and one of your brothers, your favorite brother, the one that always knows how to cheer you up or just somehow senses when you're having a bad day, announces that his longtime girlfriend and him are getting engaged and he's going to move out. Now, in a way, you're happy. You're happy that he's happy and that he's finally moving on, and she's a sweet girl. But you're kind of sad still, and you're feeling a little bit betrayed because that means that he's moving on with his life and he's kind of sort of leaving you behind. So these feelings are still going to be, they're still healthy. It's just that it's a different type of attachment. Now, here's a different example. Let's say that it's sisters, and you're the only boy in the family. Now your sisters have watched over you, and they take care of you, make sure that you've eaten, make sure that you're not sick. And your favorite sister, the one who always could make you laugh, the one who was always the one you could talk to when it was a really serious discussion, but she was always positive, and so you look to her for like, positive advice and a good outlook on the next day. Now, she comes in and she says that she's going to go to college with her best friend, which is located like six states away. Again, you're happy for your sister, but you're feeling kind of betrayed and kind of sad because of the fact that you're getting left behind again. Of course, everything that I'm saying may seem irrational and is stated metaphorically, but to a majority of K-pop fans, those emotions really do run that deep. I'm not saying the Oppa is my boyfriend or Nuna is my girlfriend generalization doesn't exist, because obviously that exists as well. There are countless scenarios where you can change it and find an attachment that is equal to the way that K-pop fans attach to idols. So there are many reasons why the no dating clause is necessary. But let's move on to the basis for the feels. Why do we have the feels that we feel when it comes to our favorite idols? Alright, well, let's take a look at the different cultures or the different bases in what we're comparing. Okay, in Western culture, our celebrities are basically off limits. Unless they're on something like a celebrity reality show or reality TV show, then Western fans don't really get a chance to go behind the glamour. This is even more so for Western musicians. At least we can watch our favorite actors whenever we want, because we could just throw in a DVD or stream a movie or something of that nature if they're a favorite actor. But Western musicians live relatively private lives. They're so well guarded physically and emotionally that it's hard to know what they might be like in a relaxed setting or if they're just sitting at home. If there's anything produced regarding Western musician or their life, it's heavily scripted and produced with buckets of Hollywood glamour. There is no transparency, and relatability is basically non-existent. It's because of this that Western fans don't really feel as deep an emotional attachment to the Western artist as a K-pop fan does to their idol. Western fans are more attached to the music and not the artists themselves. Personally, I was attached to Linkin Park in this manner with the album Meteora. The songs resonated with me at a difficult time in my life. However, I wasn't into or attached to the group at all. I knew who they were, I knew what they were doing, and I knew what roles they played in the group, but I wasn't really that interested in each member individually or anything like that. Now, as Western fans are more likely to attach to the music, K-pop fans are most likely to emotionally attached to the idol themselves as people. Even when an idol drops a terrible song, K-pop fans will defend the idol and say that the song is great just because they are more emotionally attached to the idol as people. K-pop is the first time I really got involved in liking a music band for its members. Spam marketing availability and transparency is all part of the idol business. The availability and transparency idol that offers their fans is very different than anything I've ever experienced in America, seriously. It's crazy. Idols are always active on Korean TV. They have things called meetups. They have concerts, mini concerts. Sometimes they just make appearances at malls, or they appear on variety shows, or have like concerts that include other K-pop groups. They're always doing something. They're always doing something on regarding performing. So the public has always got access to the idols no matter what. They're always available. Especially the most popular idols. They're constantly doing something. So this lets the public know that they're out there and that they exist and that, they're doing things. Unlike Western celebrities. Western musicians, a lot of times they just go into like quiet mode, or they just hide away, and I don't know what they do, but they hide away for months and then suddenly release or drop another song. So they're not always available. They're not always in the limelight. They're not always out there promoting something, not like Korean idols. So one thing that is like a big draw and a big thing that I only saw in the K-pop industry is something called fan meets. Now, with these fan meets, fans get to meet the artist one-on-one, and they get like a few seconds to like literally talk to them and have a very small discussion. But they also get personal autographs and, just getting the chance to actually meet your idol means so much. The only time that a celebrity here in America is available to have any kind of one-on-one personal signed autograph is if they're selling a book or something, or, they have a movie coming out or something like that, something of that nature. They don't actually have these periodic fan meets where fans can actually sit down and meet each member. Another way idols are marketed to the people is through fan service. Fan service is usually sketches or jokes or small actions that the idols do to make the fans kind of go crazy. They're unique to each group. So every group has their own special type of fan service that they display for the fans. And it's kind of like an inside joke for the fans and between the fans and the K-pop group or artist. As of recently, though, fan service has taken on a whole new type of meaning, like a sexual meaning, or more sexual in nature. When I talk about fan service, I mean more of the interacting with the audience, talking to them, talking and questioning them, bringing audience members onto the stage, playing games and stuff like that. That's what I call fan service. It's anything that involves the fans and the group together doing things or interacting with one another. That's all fan service, and that's not available in the West. Since K-pop is the first time I ever saw fan service, I realized that it makes group events, feel much more personal because each group has their own designated type of fan service. The fan service is performed specifically for the fans. So in a way, it's like personalized customization. You get this very special event that is basically customized to fit whatever you like, whatever you want as a fan. I mean, who doesn't like that? So idols being so easily accessible, especially through these fan meets, give the idols transparency. Fan meets and fan service makes them extremely relatable. Now that there's a clear understanding of the marketing difference regarding celebrity accessibility or availability between Western artists and K-pop idols, it is safe to say that it's all meant to make it easier for the K-pop fan to become more attached emotionally to the Korean idols as people. It's a simple business rule. The stronger the fan's emotional attachment, the more money the fan will spend nurturing that attachment. This is why I chose somewhat westernized examples of emotional attachment. People have complex emotions, feelings, and connections, and so I wanted both sides to have a clear understanding of the depth of those emotions or those attachments. Any one of the examples as is, even if tweaked just a little bit, could explain why K-pop fans feel so passionately towards their favorite idols and their idols dating. It's all in the marketing. Companies run the idol industry like a well-oiled machine, though it may seem like they treat idols like robots. These companies have a very keen and clear understanding of human emotion. They know exactly how to exploit it and use it to their advantage. I mean, let's take the fact of trainees and idols in general, the whole process. They take these young people, these young teenagers, some of them even before being teenagers, and promise them a life of luxury, a place to live. They don't have to worry about food. They're not going to have to worry about anything. They're promised the best fashions, being popular, and having adoring fans. All of it, as long as they remain grateful to the company for as long as they work for the company, and they allow them to market them however way they want. If the marketing demands that they perform comebacks every 3 months for 2 to 3 years, then that's what they do without any breaks and no stop in their schedule. Then that's what the group is going to have to do because they're grateful for the position they're in. If that means that a group has to perform at 110%, 150%, 200% every single performance without having slept for 3 to 5 days and not having a proper meal, well, then that's what's going to be demanded of that group. All because they live this luxurious life. So they know exactly how to use human emotion and attachment and feeling to get the most out of the situation. For all this negativity that surrounds idols, what is it and why does it even exist? Well, an idol is a performer of the people. And this could be said for any artist, any musician, any actor, any actress, anybody that provides a form of entertainment for the people. This is not something new that they created. It's just that Korea takes it one step forward, one step more, one step deeper into that realm of being something for the people. An idol is your perfect ideal wife. An idol is your crush. An idol is your older brother who only wants you to eat right, sleep right, and pass all your tests so that you can go to a good college and get a good job.
创造路径，认真答题，
超常发挥，金榜题名，
小心思己，你可以的，
努力不会背叛你。
高考加油！
An idol is a cute little sister who you think is so adorable that you can't help but pinch her cheeks all the time. All these things are what idols are. They can also be something as simple as beautiful performing dolls on the stage as an escape to watch for a few minutes at a time. They're marketed to fill that missing part of a fan's life. This is exactly how an idol is built. If we go back to the rule, emotional attachment equals money spent, then is it so strange that something like a no dating clause even exists? Not really, if you think about it. I mean, if an idol is dating, emotional attachment is not strong. And this means less money will be spent nurturing their relationship or nurturing a connection between the idol and the fan. Therefore, the company doesn't make as much money as they would if the idol wasn't dating. So not only does emotional attachment equal money spent, it equals the value of an idol. So the biggest asset an idol can offer fans so their value remains high is accessibility. They have to stay in the public eye and they have to remain popular. They have to have comebacks and they have to be talked about. They have to be demanded to appear on different shows, and this keeps interest in the idol. It can be seen in how high brand ranking is looked upon. Brand ranking is monthly reports that are put out by the Korean entertainment industry. You can see them on Twitter at times. Friggin' all K-pop will show like an article or something like that, and it'll announce who's popular at the time. Brand ranking means that these are the idols that are being requested the most for the month in regards to TV appearances, maybe even commercials and things like that. So that's putting their accessibility at max value, meaning their value right now is at the highest point that it could possibly be. Now, if you take a look at the leaders on those brand ranking sheets, you'll see a common pattern that these leaders are the most pure, most popular, most innocent, and are the most accessible at the time. Like I said, they're the most popular. They're the ones that everybody wants to see. The no dating clause protects the company's assets. These assets are the idols themselves. There's a lot of money to be lost if there is a dating scandal. Fans will turn their back if they're hurt, and the company stocks will drop. The idols involved are now considered problematic because they have a scandal. Most idols usually wait between their late 20s and early 30s to announce any type of dating because they've already established a fan base. They're already successful, usually having solo careers, and they don't need to really be in the public eye as much. So this is usually the best time to announce dating because people understand that there is time to move on, and this usually doesn't have a negative effect on them because it's, as a general rule, this is usually the time that these idols are fine with moving on with their lives, and so are the fans. Let's take a look at E'Dawn and Hyuna. The first to lose value was E'Dawn. Why? Because he was part of a young group that just came off of a very successful comeback, and they were already high in demand for accessibility. A lot of TV shows wanted Pentagon to appear, and he was also part of the group Triple H. So not only was he finished performing with Pentagon, he now had promotions to do with Triple H. However, when the announcement was made, Cube basically dropped E'Dawn, removed him from Pentagon, and took him out of performing anymore for at least in the current state now. Now, why did he have to suffer so much, or why did so much come down on him? Because he was part of a young group. He didn't really have a fan base yet. They were still building a fan base and still trying to find their niche. So the emotional attachment that was still raw and still fresh with the fans was totally taken away. Any emotional attachment that was being built and trust that was being built between the fans and E'Dawn or other members of Pentagon, because certain things happened after that, it's kind of like a snowball, is that the emotional attachment basically just was taken away. And it was seen by fans as being incredibly selfish and very sudden. So obviously emotional attachment equals income for the company. So without the emotional attachment and the fans saying that they don't want to support E'Dawn anymore, well, the company had to do something or else they were going to lose more profits. So they cut E'Dawn, and he had to suffer pretty much worse than Hyuna. Now let's talk about Hyuna. What happened to Hyuna? Well, Hyuna's 26 years old. Hyuna's already been established as a solo artist for a long time. So she has a basic, large fan base already. She didn't need to build anymore. She didn't need to build trust because her fans were already there. They've been there for the whole time. They were kind of waiting for her to date someone. So the company didn't come down hard on her because she was already successful. She was ready to settle down or do things like that. They did kind of take her down a little bit because they took her off schedules for the rest of the year so far. It doesn't seem like she's going to be making an appearances by Cube, but Cube did take her off of a certain concert that was supposed to happen. But anyway, so much for that, Hyuna. As of right now, time will only tell what happens with Yuno. The no dating clause that some idols are put under at times are only there to temporarily help rookies and young artists grow their fan base. And that's exactly what happened with Pentagon. It was there to kind of just make sure that they didn't lose their fan base, which they did because obviously they dated. Now, let's look at a young idol that had a successful and well executed announcement. Suzy. Suzy is only 23 years old and has already had relationships with different actors. I will only discuss her first boyfriend because he was the catalyst. Now, the rules for dating when it comes to actors is different because by default, actors already have extreme accessibility to their fans. I mean, you can watch them at any time you want. You know, there's reruns everywhere of old K-dramas that Suzy starred in or anything like that. So by the time Suzy had announced her relationship to Lee Min-ho, she already had a well-established fan base in as a K-pop solo artist and as a K-drama actress. She was a high-valued actor and idol. JYP lifted the dating ban on Suzy due to her success, and the fact that Lee Min-ho was an incredibly successful actor only raised Suzy's value even more. They were considered the golden couple, and however, in 2017, they broke up. This did open the door for Suzy to safely date other people in the future, though. Suzy is the exception due to circumstance. She was already a successful solo artist, and JYP didn't have a clause on her anymore. However, even with no dating clauses, in general, it is never recommended an idol publicly disclose their love life. There are many considerations an idol and their company must review in order to release dating news. Many times, once an idol does well as a solo artist, it can be considered safe for them to date. It's still not suggested though. Marketing demands they remain accessible to fans in all forms. No matter how fans may feel or how unjust things might seem, this is part of an idol's life and should be theirs to discuss if they choose to or not. However, if it's not in the best interest of the company, then it doesn't exist. Idols and companies that are a bit more lenient have to be wary should they decide to become romantically involved. There are exceptions to every rule, but never publicly admit to dating and never get caught. Okay, you guys never forget you're beautiful. Live it, love it, you're golden, baby. I decided to go for something a little different because it's hard to portray emotion of any kind when it's just a picture. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Let me know if this is what you guys prefer instead, and I'll see to it that it happens more often. And I'll see you guys next time. Alright, peace. I love you so much. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.